Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and a couple days ago I told you guys that I had the Cotto mini excavator in town. I was letting my buddy use it where he's tearing out where the old store was. He had a liquor store here, and it got torn down by a tornado in April, and he ended up buying the lot behind him, and there was an old house that had been torn down, well, was knocked down by a tornado. He's done some destruction. So he's trying to get to where he can bring this down 3 to 4 feet to grade where the old store was. He's going to expand and make bigger, I guess. I don't know what all he's building. Who knows? They own several businesses, but he's had that excavator in here for several days, and he's done some serious work moving things around. He actually went and rented a bigger excavator. He's running it right now, and a concrete buster. I'm drawing a blank. A jackhammer. So he's got a jackhammer for a skid steer, and he's tearing out all the concrete in here, which he did not want to beat and bang on this. So he got a bigger excavator that do all the demolition of the concrete and all that. But that's not why I'm here right now, actually. I'm fixing to hop in this Cotto and drive it, 5 or 6 blocks across town. I got a phone call a little while ago from a friend of mine. They're trying to do some demolition on a very historic home in Sulphur. One of the oldest, most historic homes in Sulphur actually got hit by the tornado, and they're trying to save part of it. So they've got an engineer coming in and doing all kinds of work to try to save some of the history in this historic home. And they said, hey, we've got a huge roll-off dumpster and a big pile of trash. You have your skid steer or excavator in town to come load this stuff so we don't have to do it all by hand? And I was like, hey, right there. So I didn't have a whole lot going on a Saturday afternoon. I was at home and not doing a lot, so might as well come help somebody out, right? This brings back old memories. Kind of feels good to actually get out here and do a little bit to help tornado victims and people clean up and all the things. I mean, it's not much, but it's a little bit. I guess while we take a slow drive across town, we can do a little quick tornado update. Tell you a story. So every little town, every little community has these Facebook groups, the rants and raves, and you know, the do's and don'ts of your town and all that stuff. And I was reading one on Sulphur, a post on a Sulphur page today. And the lady kind of, I'm not going to say went off, but she was kind of ranting about the fact that she didn't feel like there was very much progress being made in Sulphur, in the historic downtown district and areas where I guess she just thought things should be torn down and cleaned up and rebuilt since April 27th. I don't think she's a business owner or anything in downtown, but man, people jumped on her like, woo! Man, they were on her. But what the really weird thing is I was just thinking this week, and I even said something to DJ about how I feel like, man, this week there's been a lot of progress made. Not a lot of rebuild progress, but a lot of cleanup progress. Not everywhere, but when you look at it on a week-to-week basis, I feel like over the last week a lot had been done. Now there's still a lot of mess, still a lot of folks waiting on insurance claims, and you know, who knows what all. And when you're talking about something as big of a project as this, and it encompasses so many different business owners. The city's got a leak. They call our town Sulphur is the city of springs. Well, that's not a natural spring. That's a water leak bubbling up out of the ground. Anyways, happens all the time, so we call it the city of springs, even though it was named after natural springs. We say that because of water leaks. But when you look at this on a week-to-week basis, there's just so much that has to be done, and so much that goes into getting some of these things torn down, demolished, cleaned up, and all of that stuff. So they are making some progress, and I can see it, and I don't know why that lady couldn't. The good news is our post office is being saved. It's not getting torn down. They've gone through everything to make sure it's safe and stable, and that's an historic post office. It's been around for a long time, so they're going to be able to rebuild it. Into some areas where buildings have already been torn down. There's a few walls left standing. That's just kind of where we were hardest hit. But there's a lot of buildings that are completely gone. And like this was called the Mixed Mercantile. When I was a kid, it was Dykens Hardware Store and probably a couple things before that, but completely gone. They're ready to start rebuilding, but they're waiting on things like permits from the city and all the engineers and architects and everything, because that stuff just takes time. Everywhere you look, though, there's excavators and skid steers, and in my opinion, there's work being done everywhere. I honestly, I don't understand why a local from our own town would say that she feels like no work's been done, because there's just work going on everywhere. But I just don't think people realize the amount of work that goes into tearing this stuff out, and then even considering rebuilding it just takes so much time. Look at this stuff, man. This is crazy. This building here used to be Billy Cook's saddle shop, and they tore the front of it off where it said Billy Cook, and now it says Shy Made Metal Co. There's no telling how that sign is and when that business, stopped existing, went out of business. Who knows? And this is the Flower Bluff Mansion. I'm going to pull around behind it. I'm not sure where they're cleaning up at. This is the place where we were coming to work, and there's a lot of history behind this house. And I may see if the owner's here. She's a younger lady. They hadn't owned it for too long before the tornado hit, but I may see if I can get her to tell us about some of the history. Well, I didn't actually get to interview the owners of the Flower Bluff Mansion. They were not there. Their parents were there. Her parents were there. And I got a little bit of insight. They're going to try to rebuild, and they got their insurance claim, but it's still going to be a really long process. All right, I had to get in the truck because it's like 98 degrees and hot. So anyways, I don't really know where I was going with this whole video other than just, hey, here's the Cotto, and we've actually got it, putting it to work for good use. It does feel really good to have that machine and be able to put it to use to help folks out. And I know it's a partnership thing with a company, but I'm telling you, and I've said this multiple times, it blows my mind that the position I'm in to be able to help people like that. That's kind of the kind of stuff that's the reason I quit my career as a state trooper, in a sense, partially, because that's the kind of stuff that I couldn't just leave the house on the drop of a hat and go do for somebody, because they were up there loading all that stuff by hand, and it was going to take days to load all that. Can get the flies out of here. Anyways, I can come up here, hop on the excavator, run over there, and do a job for somebody in 30 minutes that was going to take them all day. And I don't know, it's crazy how God works. God puts things and people and places and stuff in our lives at the right time, and this whole partnership with Cotto, and you know, a machine that I really honestly didn't think I needed, because I was not sure I'd be able to work it enough to justify it, and where all that thing has been and all the things that it's been able to do and the people that we've been able to help because of a partnership with a company like that is amazing. And it's cool to see our town working through this process. And it's frustrating when you see local folks that are upset because things aren't being put back to normal fast enough. And I don't know what normal is. Our town is never going to be the same. It's never going to go back to the way it was. And downtown looks like a war zone. But people are starting to come through. People are starting to rebuild their lives and rebuild their careers and rebuild all the things that they lost in just a matter of, 2 minutes on a dark April rainy night. And it's cool to see. But it does have, these flies are ridiculous. It does have my brain spinning, because there's so many empty lots. There's so many empty spaces that used to be businesses. And I know some people are going to rebuild, but there's a lot that probably aren't going to be able to afford to rebuild. And it has my wheels spinning as to what other kind of business opportunities are out there for my family. Honestly, that what could we build in town? I don't want to go into the restaurant business, but you know, you could easily buy up a couple of these old spaces and put in a building that's big enough to house like 3 or 4 businesses, like not a strip mall, but you know, just a building downtown that's got, you know, an office space, a space big enough for like a little pizza joint that you could lease out, or like a boutique store, a couple boutique stores. You could build a building, lease each one of those spaces out for $1,000, $1,200 a month, and it's just residual income, I guess, or mailbox money. I don't know. I'm not saying we're doing that. I haven't even talked to DJ about this, but I will say this. Watching him and talking to him just about every day about what his plans are for what they're going to do and what they're going to rebuild and all their business ideas. Look, isn't that a great shot? Look at that. There's a Cotto excavator. Look at it. We'll get rid of that orange one and just look at the Cotto. But talking to him about what their plans are and what they want to do, and yeah, it's a risk. They're put in a position where they have to do something if they want to continue their business and expand their businesses and business opportunities. So they're putting a lot of money on the line to build something, and I don't even know what all they're going to build here, honestly. I don't think they know. But he's excited, and he's up here working every day, and they're going to have something. They're going to put something back here that's going to be 3, 4, 5 times better than what was here before. I don't know. Look at this pontoon boat. Somebody been to the lake. Look at this pontoon boat. Man, they got, that thing is huge. Got a big lily pad on the back. Oh, man. I say that because my wife's more of a pontoon boat kind of person. Houston and I bought a bass boat, and she's like, couldn't you have fished off a pontoon boat? Anyways, I'm rambling, chasing flies. I don't know. Who knows what will come out of the destruction of such a wonderful little town. And I know a lot of people are going to build back, and a lot of people aren't, and a lot of new things are going to come in, and we're going to have local folks that aren't happy with the way things are going, and that's frustrating. I don't understand it, because there's a lot of progress that's been done. There's a lot of work being done. There's a lot of people doing things, and a lot of them that you don't see, and I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to quit rambling. I'm going to go home and see what my family's doing. So, got a traffic jam. Made it home from work. Volunteer work. Got a traffic jam. Kelsey's over here swimming in the creek. I don't think they're going to let me through. Just kidding. The video's really not over. Come home to find my my wife and son playing in the creek without me.
It's not my fault.
So I asked Houston to see if there was any big catfish in the swimming hole still. There should be at least one big catfish in there right now, but I don't know. We haven't actually looked since Cole and Jay were here.
I know.
Well, you gonna go find out for us?
Yeah. If they're under the dam, I'm not going to look.
Oh, baloney.
That's not baloney.
Send my bird dog in looking for catfish. Not actual bird dog, but my catfish bird dog. Oh, that water looks amazing right now. It is hot today for sure. So you saw a catfish?
Yeah, I saw a giant catfish, but it seems a lot bigger.
You don't think it might? Do you think it's the same one, Cole and Jay?
I think so, but I haven't went and looked under the dam. I tried, but the sun glare is just terrible.
Oh.
Where it's at right now.
Well,
so it's just hard to tell in some places.
Even if it is the same one, it hadn't been touched in about, what, 2 weeks now or better, so.
Yeah.
I want to see if you can catch it.
Alright, I'll try.
I don't know if you can.
Hey, there's also a gar in here somewhere too.
Oh, you saw a gar?
I saw one earlier, yeah.
Cool. Oh, I lost
it. Look, there's that gar, right there.
Oh, yeah, I see the gar. It's sitting right there on the bottom.
Yep.
Spotted gar, isn't it? It's pretty good size. Huh. There was a big smallmouth bass swimming around here somewhere. I don't know where he went.
I think he went around and looked.
So after noodling for real with Adrenaline Rush the other day, you think that's something you want to do more? Yeah, 100%, huh? It just stinks that we kind of got into it at the tail end of the season this year. We never get into hobbies like right at the beginning of the season. We always catch the tail end of it. So there's still a little time left. There's still some catfish spawning. And like those catfish that we saw with Adrenaline Rush the other day, even the ones that weren't spawning had come up that little bitty creek to spawn, and they're kind of stuck there until a big rain comes up and they can get down that creek, which is kind of the same scenario we have here. So even though this is probably the same catfish, yeah, I didn't have little gloves in the buggy. Yours are back at the house. Even though this is the same catfish that's been caught a couple times now, it's good practice for this guy. I kind of like it, actually. It's like a catfish rodeo training ground here. Need some help? Those are giant gloves. They're too big for you. Alright, he said he found the catfish. Problem is, it's just out in open water on the bottom, so I'm not sure if he'll be able to get down and actually get a hand in its mouth, but he's gonna try. Oh, he's chasing it. It's headed back over here to this ledge. That's what it's doing. Well, I don't know if he lost it or it's still over here. I don't know. I'm not communicating with my noodling partner very well here. Looks like you might see it. Nope. There's a ledge. This goes back up under about 12 or 18 inches. Oh, yeah, I think he found it. Oh yeah, I see the catfish. It's headed that way now. Not one to be still, is it? Won't stay still.
Every time I would get close to him, I'd reach my hand down there, and then he'd start to move away, and then I'd try to get my hand on his bottom jaw, and at one point I had it, but then he just bolted hard, like,
yeah,
and merked it up, and then I saw him other few times, but every time I got close to him, he just bolted again. Right.
Yeah, the creek is has filled up with a lot more moss and algae and stuff, so it gets mucked up and dirty real quick since it's not nice and, you know, clean on the bottom anymore. But this catfish is probably not spawning anymore. It's just kind of,
it's just hanging out.
It's just hanging out here because
yeah, they have enough food.
There's 1,000 bluegill and little bass and things in here. He's got plenty of food, and he's been messed with a few times.
He has.
He's on to our games.
He definitely is.
Well, he tried. No big catfish. But in other news, I did check the mail on the way in and had a package. Now, I don't know that this was intentional, but my buddy Flair hit it right on the dot. Today is my 40th birthday. So, Flair, I don't know if you meant to send me a birthday present or not, but I'll take it. Flair has a beef jerky company called Beefcake Jerky Company, and he sent me a box. Look at all these different flavors of jerky. Let's see. I don't even know what all is in here yet. Pork, smokehouse barbecue. Oh, these are all smokehouse barbecue. Must be a new flavor he just released. A koozie, sticker, and a hat. So, thanks for the birthday present there, Flair and Beefcake Jerky. Whether that was intentional or not, you hit it right on my birthday, buddy. I guess they're going back to the house too, so I guess the video really is over this time. Guys, remember, do something today to make somebody smile, because you never know, it just might change the world. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. You guys have a great day, and as always, we'll see you on the next video.